Job Lasso. And I want to take a moment and introduce my other co-founder, Mosa Fernandez-Goodman.
Thanks, Lindsay. Basically, I'm going to thank everyone. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Job Lasso if you don't know anything about it. And then we're going to talk about why we're here, which is to raise some money for a really good cause. So a big shout out and a thank you to all of you for coming, to our investors, to our advisors, some of whom are here. Certainly to our early adopters. We have 4 law firms: McGrath North, Fraser Stryker, Coley Jessen, and Baird Home. Spencer, see, I got that. And to our development partner, AXKI. So thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. For our Job Lasso team, my co-founder Lindsay and Brian, you're here somewhere. I think you're in the back. Our tech lead, chief technology officer, Brian. And Kara, where are you? She might still be outside checking folks in. And Justin, so thanks to you guys. And thanks to all the family and friends along the way. My wife, my beautiful wife, Lauren, who's been incredibly supportive, and many of you in the crowd have helped along the way, so thank you. What is Job Lasso? Well, Job Lasso is an application and a piece of technology that was built right here in Omaha, and that's why we're launching in Omaha. Just a quick show of hands. How many of you are looking for a new job? Just put it up. I see one hand. And I know we've got a group in here that's lying, because I know that, right? I know that because some of you have told me otherwise or have started to sign up. So the whole point of Job Lasso is to give people an opportunity to look confidentially for their next role and to always be looking. So kind of be ready so you don't have to get ready approach. So we've launched here in Omaha. We're looking for a ton of feedback. We are far from perfect, but we are an Omaha startup, and we are relying on the relationships that we have and the community here to give us feedback to make it the best product and grow the company here in Omaha. So thank you in advance for all your feedback, for taking the time to make sure that you build a profile. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of tonight when we have a huge raffle and some pretty cool incentives. So you're going to want to stick around after Chris tries to be funny for 45 minutes. I'm going to show you a quick video, and then we're going to talk about why we're really here and what brought everyone here, which is the Omaha Bar Association, but a quick video about Job Lasso. And again, thanks to everyone for coming and for helping us get to this point.
Clients, reputation, professional relationships. That's a lot at stake for uncertain results. Job Lasso is transforming the way candidates and employers find each other by providing a confidential platform where they can connect with confidence. While you maintain your privacy, we open doors to new possibilities. Job Lasso makes it simple. Create your profile, explore your matches, and connect. For candidates, Job Lasso conceals your identity, allowing you to choose the details you want to share, while we match you with roles with top-tier employers tailored to your preferences and goals. Streamline your search, expand your earning potential, and unlock the hidden job market, all while protecting your privacy. For employers and recruiters, Job Lasso takes the guesswork out of hiring by expertly matching your open positions with vetted, top-notch candidates that fit your requirements and company culture. Once matched, you can connect and chat anonymously. When you're both ready, you can reveal your identities and take the next steps with confidence. Discover hidden talent you won't find anywhere else, like active and passive candidates who are ready and waiting for the perfect opportunity to make a move. Save yourself from endless database searches and dead ends. Your next great move could be right around the corner. Discover it today on Job Lasso.
Okay, so if you do nothing else tonight, 3 things. Please have a ton of fun and enjoy the evening. Make sure you go out to Job Lasso, and if you can, take 10 minutes to build a profile. We'll talk more about that later. And then, if you would, and it's not asking too much, tell a good story about Job Lasso, whether it be on LinkedIn or Facebook. We need your feedback and we need your support. So that's that's the end of the plug. Really appreciate everyone coming out. And I'm going to invite on the stage Dave Summers from the Omaha Bar Association, which I think most of you guys know Dave. But Dave, welcome to the stage, and thanks so much for your support and all that OBA does.
Thank you, everybody. Dave Summers, Executive Director of the Omaha Bar Association. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to Job Lasso for having the Omaha Bar Association as part of this event. I'm here to tell you what your $10 cover charge was for. It's a donation to the Omaha Bar Association Giving Circle. This is done in conjunction with Omaha Community Foundation, and we pool together donations from local law firms and lawyers and anybody who wants to give a donation to this pool. We pool that together and we give it to local nonprofits. We've only been around for 2 years as a giving circle. We've raised over $13,000 and we've given that to 6 very deserving nonprofits. So this is our year 3. We're looking for members of our giving circle. There's a few members from the previous years here tonight. If you could raise your hand, say hello. Thank you so much for being a part of that. Thank you. And there's more information online on your table. There's a QR code for more information about the Giving Circle. So if you want to be a part of it, if you want to support it, please go to that website. And I just want to thank Job Lasso again for having us here. The Omaha Bar Association loves events that connect attorneys with humor. So this is whatever. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Dave. We are truly grateful for OBA's support. All right, now without further ado, let's get to why everybody actually came here, and that's to laugh. Our first comic tonight is veteran Richard Reese. Richard has performed all across America and has released 3 comedy specials. Over the last 20 years, he has shared the stage with many greats, including Chris Kobe. Please welcome the irreverent and very unpredictable Richard Reese.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight. How you doing this evening? Right, I know my clientele, so my body cam will be on for this whole entire show. It's not a body cam, it's a tax write-off. I have no more props except for this. Let me get rid of that one. That one. Okay, no more props for the rest of the show. This is cool, man. Yeah, I opened for freaking Louis C.K. last night in this very stage right here. Now I'm opening for Chris Kobe tonight. I guess jail is next. Calculate the drop-offs. I'm just glad to be out of the house. My wife don't even know I'm here. I told her I was going to Hy-Vee. Might need to get some milk after this. I'm doing good though, man. I got shiny suit money now. I got shiny suit. I should have worn my leather pants tonight. I got leather pants money now. You ever wear leather pants? Now I know why Chris Rock, Kevin Hart be walking off fast. Like leather pants feel good, man. Leather pants make you want to grab your own ass. I'm about to Me Too myself in here. Doing good. I got a new house, brand new car, beautiful wife that can afford it all. Yeah, I got a sugar mama. Every morning I wake up and say, hey baby, you better get up. We don't want to lose our job. Chop, chop. My wife's a little older than me. I actually met her in middle school. She was my bus driver. All the kids were like, how come you get dropped off in front of the house? You only knew. It's like in that grade school, D. All right, I'm feeling the pulse a little bit in here. This black man surfing. That's all right. You know? I just got my concealed carry permit. Oh no. Yeah. They don't specify where you can conceal it, so I just keep it at home. I do keep a loaded magazine on me. Some shit go down, I talk to somebody in the gallery. I hope this works in that. People get gun owners wrong. They think gun owners are about war, but it's the opposite, right? Gun owners are about peace. Like, you break in my house tonight, peace. Wrong house, homie. I'm talking stuff a year ago, I didn't even know how to work my gun. I didn't know nothing about guns. I was gonna have my grandma knit me one. I didn't know nothing. Somebody broke in my house, I would've had to go to YouTube real quick. Insert magazine, pull slide back. You supposed to shoot your toe off? I don't know, man. There's no gun reviews for first-time gun owners. When you're a first-time gun owner, there's no reviews for you because, you know, people that do gun reviews, they got multiple guns to compare it to. I looked up a review on my gun, the dude was like, yeah, that's a good gun if you need an extra gun. I'm like, man, I need a knife to protect my gun. A bat to protect my knife, midget to protect my weed. When does it stop? You guys keep it spicy in the bedroom? It's a lot of Mike Pence missionary going on. Sorry, I didn't mean to look you in the eyes. Perhaps another comforter between us. I get it this Thursday. Or Friday, start talking about that stuff. I hate it when my friends with no jobs start bragging about the weekend. But it's like, man, I can't wait for this weekend. I ain't doing shit this weekend. Man, you ain't doing shit all week. Give me that $5 you owe me. Oh no, man. Me and my wife just celebrated an 8-year wedding anniversary. We dated for 14. I met her before social media. I met her before camera phones. Like, I actually had to show it to her. Because, you know, back in the day, a dick pic cost you shipping and handling. Get a couple Polaroids in the mail. Why did you send 2 of them? You can see both sides of these nuts. 3D. This is great, man. You know this club is closing, right? Yeah, they said they found out Chris was headlining. No, they're going back to their old location, 114th and Dodge, man. Back to Omaha. That's cool, right? Not out here in freaking, we're in Iowa. I don't know where we're at. I live on this side of town, man. I got a nice house, you know. My neighbors on this side, they got a lot of money. They're on vacation right now in some tropical climate. I can always tell when they're on vacation because there's hardly never any food in their fridge. That's some respect. I still gotta stay here. Oh no, man. I'm 43 years old. I've been working at this club since I was 21. You know? It took me 17 years to be able to quit my day job. 6 months to ask for it back. You still got my job as funny cashier. This ain't working out. It's all about the highlights and lowlights. You gotta put them together, man. I did one weekend. On a Friday, I opened up for Kevin Nealon from Saturday Night Live in a 5,000-seat theater. And then Saturday, I did a birthday party in a bowling alley. Opening up for Kevin Nealon. You gotta do that bullshit too. Guess what show I got laid on? Neither. I hate this job. No. It's a Thursday. I think I'm still gonna get drunk. Anybody else? I'm getting stepdad drunk tonight. I'm beating other people's kids. That's what this show. If you got kids, tell them about an hour, 15 minutes to come to kick their ass. Or something they're gonna do in the future. I'm getting white dude with a ponytail drunk tonight. It's Steven Seagal. I shouldn't talk about hair. I went and got cornrows, peak pandemic. I got cornrows. I'm like, yo, if I gotta be out in the street fighting people for bottled water, I want to at least look like I'm fighting. Then I realized I wear glasses. I'm like, okay, that shit don't work. My wife, who is white, by the way, my wife is white because, you know, I'm in entertainment. And Yeah, as soon as I got a little funny, they were like, all right, here's your white girl. Be nice to her and don't feed her white claw after midnight. She called me the whitest black guy she ever met. She's like, you're the whitest black guy I know. I got so mad, I almost threw my Frasier DVD box set. I didn't, that's my jam. We gotta be able to make fun of our differences, right? Yeah. Yes. We gotta be able to make fun of our differences, man. Everybody in this room is white, but other places. When you leave here, my best friend, white dude, did it perfectly. We're in a public restroom, stalls right next to each other. He said, "Man, I gotta pee like a racist horse." I said, "You mean a racehorse?" He said, "No, a racist horse." I said, "What does that mean?" Then he turned and he peed on me. A racist ass horse. I experienced racism at an outdoor mall. 6-year-old white girl walked past and said, "Mommy, black people smell." Mom ran up to me and said, "I'm so sorry, please forgive me. You know kids." I said, "It's cool, don't worry about it. You know bad parents." In little girl's defense, I did fart. This black dude do stink. I don't know, man. Do you guys, oh yeah, this is a good time to ask. Do you guys have any money? Yeah, I need 38 cents. I'm trying to get to Detroit. They always say, "Zach, right?" It's like, man, I'm going too. That's a good deal. Oh no, okay, nobody laughed at that. You know, let me see who's in here, man. I want to get an age range. We got some, it's kind of diverse. I'm 43. If you're in your 20s, make some, no. If you're in your 30s, make some noise. Where you at? 30s. My club, 40s, where you at? 50s? Getting real polite. 60s? They loud. They know they on their way out. Like, my last comedy show. Laughing at everything. 80s? Rest in peace. 20-year-olds, where you at? You hear how annoying that shit sounds? All that hope. That's why I skipped you. Makes me sad. I see old people get divorced, people in their 60s, the 70s, you know, they decide they want to get divorced. Whatever happened to death do us part? You can't wait 3 weeks? Ride it out. Then when the two of you die and get to the pearly gates, you'd be like, "No, I ain't with her. The contract is up." I was reading about the oldest woman in the United States, 114 years old. She passed away a few years ago. Her husband died 30-some years before her. He died like in the late 80s. So he'd been in heaven partying for like 30 years. Get a tap on the shoulder. Ah! "Hey everybody, it's my wife." What the fuck was your name again? You got old as shit. Oh no, man. I just got a 2-year degree in aerospace studies. Yes. It's science. I can work at NASA now officially as a janitor. 2-year degree, I don't care. I'm ready to get off this planet. Anybody else? I don't care, man. I'm gonna go to space. They got me sweeping satellites. I don't care, man. I'm ready to leave. I want to study the effects of marijuana and microgravity. You know? It's a good thing to study, right? You know, going to Mars is a long-ass trip. You need to know if it's okay. Like, can we do this? I can see it right now. I'm on the space station. "Richard, did you smoke that whole ounce?" Like, no, the scale says 0. Yeah, it did. It's kicking in, too. They legalized marijuana here medicinally in Nebraska. I don't think it should be legal. I like trying to find it in shady ways. I don't mind meeting a guy in a dark alley somewhere. not knowing if I'm gonna survive the transaction. I remember the first time I bought it legal in Colorado, I paid for it. He slid it across the counter, I slid it right back. I said, man, there's cameras in here. Why don't you meet me in the alley for old time's sake? He robbed me. Marijuana's bad for the short-term memory. I forgot my dog's name one night. I had to rename him. I just named him Cheetos because that's what we were both eating at the time. My friend called me up and said, hey man, how's Fritos doing? Like, shit, how long have I been doing this? Come on, Funyuns, let's go for a walk. I don't know, man. 2025, I hope it's a good year, man. I hope it's a good year, you know? I'm trying to get my New Year's resolutions in. I'm a big fan of people that defy the odds, that do things. Like, I'm a big Elvis fan. You guys like Elvis? Yeah. I love Elvis, man. A lot of people don't notice Elvis got an F in music class. And he still went on to become Elvis. You know, Michael Jordan got cut from the freshman team. Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, got a C in calculus. Famous chef failed home ec. Jeffrey Dahmer failed home ec. Eating black people with no salt. I come back to life like, season me, bro. All right, 60% left. You know Jeffrey Dahmer was 17 years old when he ate his first person? Yeah, he's a prodigy. You can't start eating people at 40. You don't know who you're allergic to. No, I can't eat Mexicans. Nigerians give me gas. I don't know, man. It's a hard field, you know, being in the arts. A lot of mistakes, we gotta have mistakes. You know, I ain't been batting 1,000 up here, man. But you gotta start somewhere. I got a nephew, he wants to paint paintings, he wants to draw and stuff. I walked in, my nephew's 5 years old, I walked in, he said he was drawing an astronaut. And I looked at the picture, it was just a butt-naked dude with socks on. I said, okay, you're drawing an astronaut, where's his spacesuit? And he looked at me like I was stupid. He said, I gotta draw his underwear on first. So I took the kid logic, okay, you gotta draw his underwear on. Why did you draw his socks on before you drew his underwear on? And he pulled me close as if he was kind of embarrassed, and he said, I don't know how to draw feet. Meanwhile, I'm staring at a rock-hard cock like, man, you should follow your dreams, though. Like, that's pretty good. Okay, I gotta go take Pringles for a walk, man. No, man, this has been cool. This has been cool. It's been a hell of a ride doing this. I've been doing this since I was 18, you know? And then the pandemic happened. I had a 17-city tour get canceled. It was all Grand Island, but you know what I'm saying? Still needed that 38 bucks. Made us wear a mask in Walmart. We don't need pants in that bitch. All right, let's stay away from the politics. Oh, should have talked about it? Yeah. We got a new president, Mr. Donald Trump. Well, I got any more props? I don't know. Who said that? People are mad at Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't believe in science. Of course he don't believe in science. His hair don't believe in physics. How you comb your hair forwards and backwards? That's some alien technology. You think Joe Biden's still walking around the White House with a box trying to get out of there? Like, where's the door, man? All right, let me step back. It's hard. We got a tightrope up here. We got a tightrope. You can't even call a sloth slow anymore. They're like, oh, he just learns differently. You think a 69 with a midget is a 37? It's a knee slapper! Like a midget pimp. 60-year-olds didn't like that one either. Let me get out of here, man. I think there's a baby in the car or something. I don't know. I hope the check clears. I'm at a weird stage in stand-up comedy, you know? I'm at a weird stage, man. I'm at a walk-in with the audience level. Like, I came in here with you guys. Like, Louis parachuted into the parking lot last night. I had to buy a ticket for my own show, standing in line. Like, hurry up before I miss me. I'm at a weird level. Like, I always get paid, but not necessarily in money. I did a show 6 months ago. They paid me in weed and Adderall. I was up all night focused on doing nothing. I guess I'll paint the house. I don't know. I'll be selling some stuff out there. I got some DVDs and some books. I got Great Gatsby, Galaxy Quest, Lethal Weapon 8. No, I'll be selling. I got some. You guys still have DVD players? Sweet. I'll be selling some DVD players out there. Panasonic, Toshiba. No, anything you buy from me out there, all the proceeds go to find a home for an underprivileged PS5. Into charity. I was talking about keeping it spicy in the bedroom. My wife is she's fairly conservative, but every now and then she'll turn it up a notch. One night in the middle, she said, "I want you to choke me." And I'm logical, I'm thinking I don't have a reason to. She said, "Whenever I try something new, you never want to do it. Here I am finally trying something new." I go, "See, there it is." Shut the hell up. Hey, you guys have been beautiful, man. I'm Richard Reese. Thank you. Grab my tax write-offs. Oh man, this is beautiful. We're gonna do this in one try, man. You guys ready for your headliner this evening? I've had the privilege of sharing the stage with this guy for many years. It's been a beautiful thing. We've gone all over the road, man. Wine bars, dive bars, everywhere, man. Please show some love to Mr. Chris Kobe!
Give it up one more time for my buddy Richard Reese. Thanks to John Lasso for sponsoring all this tonight. Because they sponsored all this and your minor donation went to a donation to a good cause, it's like you've already gotten more than you paid for. So instead of doing my act, I've decided that I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes telling you about the benefits that me and my family have experienced from essential oils. I was skeptical at first too, but if you'll bear with me. No, Richard's great. Richard and I travel, as he said, we travel around the country doing shows together. He's a headliner, he did this as a favor to me. And sometimes I go first, sometimes he goes first. And here's a joke for you linguists out there. Tomorrow when you get to work and people ask you what you did last night, you could say, "Oh, I went to a comedy show and saw Chris Kobe with Richard Pryor." And if you like that joke, you're not going to have fun tonight. Because that's the cleverest thing I'm going to say. The rest of it's poop jokes. And I'll talk slow since there's a lot of old people here. No, it's good. It's good. Old people are my people. I love being in this club, and here's why. Because I don't do a lot of shows in clubs anymore. I do a lot of like corporate gigs and holiday parties and things like that. So I don't get to do a comedy club where you've got the lights and the sound and everything. Usually I'm in like a conference room at the Unis Center in Kearney, and some of the people are there to see a comedian, the rest of them are just holding their raffle ticket, wondering if they won the $50 gift card to Boomgars, right? And if you don't know what Boomgars is, you can just go back to California, you hippie. So it's great to be here. I did a show about a month ago in Columbus for 400 cattle producers, right? The heart and soul of Nebraska. There's the, no, I love it. You got the one meat eater. That's, I'll take that, vegan. Not funny at all. But then between him and I was a little auction, a live auction, and this is a thing you can only say in Nebraska. One of the items in the auction was a credit towards your next purchase of bull semen. Which a lot of you are like, that doesn't seem that out of the ordinary. We know how important frozen bull semen is to our economy. But I can't wait to tell this in California, where they will freak out. And now, I don't want you to read too much into this. I know there's a lot of very smart people here tonight. I don't want you to read into the fact that the job lasso presentation by Mosa is not like bull semen, all right? It's not, you're overthinking it if you put those two things together. Not intended, but no, it's good. I travel around and get to a lot of shows, and I have to get this out of the way. I've learned I have to get this out of the way right up front. I'm 6'8". There it is. Now you have the number and you can relax. It is so weird how people are like, I gotta know, right? And tall is good, right? Like 6'2", 6'3", I think that's the perfect height. At 6'8", you're a freak. You are. And when you're freakishly tall, random strangers feel compelled to walk up to you and ask you stupid shit about it. I had a guy ask me a question recently, and it was such a weird thing to ask, right? You wouldn't ask anybody this question. He said, how tall are you? I said, I'm 6'8", and he goes, how tall is your wife? What? What a weird thing to ask somebody. What are you gonna do with the answer to that question, right? Are you like a D1 basketball coach hoping our kids are gonna be prospects? Because, spoiler alert, they're show car kids. Not getting anything out of that. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson about asking strangers stupid questions. So I said, actually my husband is 5'11". And you know who hates that joke? My wife. She's not a fan. She's not a fan. I actually told that joke recently at a Catholic high school fundraiser. And nope, you're wrong. You're wrong. They loved it. They did. They love it for two reasons. One, Catholics have a great sense of humor. They can recognize when a joke's a joke. And two, they're alcoholics. I went to my first fish fry this season. I've never been to an event at a church that I had to Uber home from. A bunch of drunks. But I did. They laughed. They thought it was a great joke. I mean, not all of them. I mean, the priest didn't. But his boyfriend was doubled over. He thought it was hysterical. I did. I told that bit at a corporate fundraiser not too long ago, and in the back of the room, I can see this woman, she just crosses her arm and just glared at me for 45 minutes. Like she was not having it. And then the show gets over, and I'm talking to some guy afterwards, and she comes up. She's not done with me yet, right? So she comes storming up, and I'm like, here we go. And she goes, you should not tell that joke about the priest. It's not funny. And I was like, which one? And she said, the one where you insinuated that the priest was homosexual. And I was like, oh man, that's not a joke. A joke is when there's a setup, a premise, and a punchline. That actually happened to me. I was at a Catholic high school fundraiser. The priest and the guy with him, 6 months after my show, left, moved to Arizona, and got married. And she just stared at me blankly. She had no idea how to react. And then she just walked away. And this poor guy standing next to me watching this entire awkward exchange, and he's like, that was really intense, man. What church was that? I was like, oh man, I made it all up to get rid of her. That's not a thing. But it's a dumb question. Ask somebody how tall they are. And I will save you guys a little embarrassment, all right? After the show, if I'm hanging out, having a drink, whatever, don't think you're the first funny guy to ask me after the show how tall my wife is, because as soon as you do, and women don't do this because they're smarter than us, but as soon as you do, you'll realize how dumb it is, and it'll be weird for both of us. So I'm sparing you that embarrassment. This happened to me last year. I had a great opportunity. I opened for David Spade at the Holland Center downtown, and it was awesome. The show was great. And then after the show, my wife and I, who is way funnier than me in her own way, we're walking through the crowd. We're walking through the crowd, and I'm doing the like blaze up path, and she's behind me. And this couple stops me, and the guy's like, "Oh man, it's so great. We enjoyed the show." I'm like, "Oh, good. Thanks for coming out." And he goes, "How tall is your wife?" And I go, "Actually, she passed away about 6 months ago." And I kept walking, and my wife, who's behind me, never breaks stride, just went, "No, I didn't. I'm fine." But it's a weird question, right? I wasn't used to it. I get the big three, right? Everywhere I go, all around the country, same three things. Wow, you're a tall drink of water. How tall are you? 6'5", 6'6"? And of course, do you play basketball? And if you think about it, tall people are the only kind of freak who treat like that, right? I can't get on an elevator with a great big fat guy and just go, wow, you're a big old tankard full of water. Like, how fat are you? Like 450, 460? Do you play tug of war? That's out of bounds. Can't do it. Can't do it. How fat's your wife? Can't do it. That's totally, no, can't do it. And I didn't play basketball, which is a constant source of disappointment to strangers. It is, I had a lady one time go, oh, what a waste. That was my mom. That's how I grew up. I finally snapped at that question. I was in line last year getting a beer at a Creighton basketball game. You guys all know Creighton, right? So if you've been to the games, you know there's a bunch of like tiny old men scurrying about in sweater vests. And one of them, all right, some of them here today, I can tell by your tiny hand claps. And I'm just minding my own business, getting a beer, and this guy comes up, he's like, hey, you're pretty tall there, fella. Did you play basketball? And I don't know why, but I just snapped. I just lied to the guy. I said, yeah, I sure did. I played some college ball. He looked up at me and went, really? Where'd you play? I said, I played for Creighton. And now he looked at me kind of skeptically because he's been to every game since 1938. He said, really? What's your name? When did you play? I said, my name's Chris Covey. I played in the early 90s. And before I could tell him I'm kidding, he goes, oh, I remember you. I don't think you do. But before I can say anything, he goes, well, can I buy you a beer? Ah, now what do I do, right? Now I got a moral dilemma. On this shoulder, I got the devil saying, take the beer. He started it, right? And then, you know, on this shoulder, I got nothing. So I said, sure, that would be great, Father. And, that's great. I'm Lutheran. I didn't know that. You lie to a priest, you get free beer. That's pretty awesome. I'll tell you the weirdest story though. The weirdest conversation I've ever had with anybody about being tall. I was doing some shows in Little Rock, Arkansas. I get done. I go to the hotel bar. I'm sitting down drinking a beer. A woman walks up, orders her drink, turns to me, and out of nowhere just says, "What are you, about 6'8"? Yeah, it's a really good guess. I'm sitting down. Dead serious, she says, "You should buy a coffin." Why, crazy lady? She was trying to be helpful. She explained to me that she had a boyfriend who died very suddenly, and he was my height, and they didn't have a chance to order him an extra large coffin, so they cut him off at the shins to fit him in a regular box. And so I'm flying home, and I'm thinking about this, because, well, you don't forget that shit. And I'm like, nah, I ain't going out like that. Nah, you're not putting me in the ground looking like Dorf. No, so I came up with a way better idea. I walked through the front door, and the first thing I said to my wife was, honey, when I die, I don't want an extra large coffin. And my wife just went, why? I said, because I want a regular coffin with 2 holes cut in the end of it so my feet can stick out. She goes, why do you want that? I said, that's funny. People are coming up at the funeral, paying their last respects. My feet are sticking out of the box. I said, I'm a comic. I don't want people to be sad at my funeral. And my wife, who I adore, said, what makes you think people are going to be sad at your funeral? Yeah. No, it is. And tall people, we have these like little microaggressions, right? We have these little things where we get discriminated against that nobody even thinks about. Like if I buy a shirt, like a custom shirt or something, I have to get a 2XL, and sometimes it's like $2 more. They just throw $2 on there for the big and tall people, the fat people. It's not that much more fabric. It's just a money grab. And to show you how like kind of out of bounds that is, like how ridiculous that is, let me use a different example. How tall are you, sir? 5'11", all right. How much do you weigh? 170, all right. 5'11", 170. I'm 6'8", 240. We pay the same price for a massage. That's it. We pay the same. Now, you look like you pay a little more at the end, but that's a thing. Like Like, that's something you could charge more for, like by the inch. I mean, not your thing, but like, glad you sat up front, Mark. It gets worse. No, it is. No, I've been married a long time. I want to find out who's been married the longest in the room. If you think you've been married the longest in the room, yell out how many years you've been married.
49.
So I see you're 29? 49. 49. Damn, that's pretty good. 49. Anybody got that beat? I'm looking directly at this table. 42? Not you. The people behind you. Your parents. So 49, is that our winner? Is that, who said that? Was that you, sir, with the goatee? Are you with your woman tonight? There she is. Well, congratulations. 49, you clap for that. That's amazing. That's awesome. What's the, I'm never going to make it that long. What's the secret to a long, happy marriage, sir? Keep your mouth shut. All right. I like it. It's very diplomatic. It's a diplomatic answer. It's the answer of a guy who's already taken the pill and he's on the clock. We've been married a long time. For our anniversary last fall, my wife wanted me to take her to the Street of Dreams. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but in Omaha, these builders build these multi-million-dollar houses, and then these decorators go in and decorate with really, really, really nice stuff, and then people like us pay money to look at it. That's the whole thing. I hate that stuff. She knows I hate that. And she goes, please, that's all I want for our anniversaries. Please take me to the Street of Dreams. So I said, look, let me get this straight. You want me to take you somewhere where we have to pay money to get in and then look at newer, nicer versions of something we already have? She said, yeah. So I took her to the strip club. That's right. Yeah, we went to the Street of Broken Dreams. That's where we went. No, we absolutely went to the Street of Dreams. Make no mistake about it. I am not tough. I'm not tough. That surprises people, because I'm a big guy, right? People assume I've been big my whole life. I wasn't. I grew super late in high school. I'm not a tough guy. I'll give you a good example of that. Went to Hy-Vee recently on a Saturday morning. It was very busy. And I didn't need any groceries. I was just in a lousy mood, wanted some helpful smiles. And so I'm pulling into the parking lot, and I'm waiting for this woman to get her groceries into her trunk of her car. While I'm waiting, this guy in a huge truck, totally impatient, Iowa plates, he leans out the window and he yells at me in the parking lot. He goes, hey, move your car, asshole. It's like, whoa, dude, relax. Chill out, man. This is the Hy-Vee parking lot. That's Walmart behavior. Take that up the road. I'm like, no, you know what? Today I'm going to stand up for myself. So I said, look, buddy, chill out. You'll be out of here in 30 seconds, get back across the bridge, watch the fishing channel, and drink that Busch Light tall boy, you redneck. And you know what he said? Nothing. Because I never rolled down my window. So I'm not tough. Not tough at all. A number of years ago, I got home and my wife had bought my 4-year-old son a shirt that said, brave like daddy. It's like, ah, buddy, your mom thinks you're a pussy. Sorry, man. It is. They are. They're soft, though. These kids are soft, right? Our generation was called soft, and we were, compared to the greatest generation. But our kids are even softer, right? Everything they have is like on the internet and everything. Like their vitamins come in gummy bears. You know what kind of vitamins I got when I was a kid? No, I couldn't afford Flintstones. We were poor. It was food. That's what our vitamins were. And now they get gummy bear vitamins. I went to the store, it was on the list, right? So I went and tracked them down. The jar was $16. Like, $16? That's absurd. I'm not paying $16. And I got a great idea. I went to the candy aisle, bought a regular bag of gummy bears, put them in the old jar, and my kids haven't even figured it out yet. Because they're so stupid. I mean, it's probably the vitamin deficiency, but either way, they're not that bright. There's gestures we use that don't update. Right, a minute ago I did this. Everybody in the room knows why this means roll down the window. My kids have no idea. They're growing up in a power window, push button world. That gesture doesn't update. Right? I can't walk up to a woman in a car and just go, I just want to talk. Right? That's how you get maced. That's how that ends. I'm try not to say the dumb things to my kids that my parents said to me. A whole generation of moms said the dumbest things to us, and it's our job as parents to not say this stuff to our kids. For example, if I left the door open, my mom would say, "Shut the door, what were you? Born in a barn?" Right. I don't know, Mom. You were there. Right, like if I'm Jesus, tell me now. I need to know this. And here's one that I believed far too long. This is nonsense, but I believed it for far too long. I need to find somebody in their 20s. Somebody over here clapped when they were in their 20s. Who was that? Here. Right up front? Nah, I don't talk to you. Okay, so what's your name, ma'am?
I'm Abby.
Abby, yes, yours. How old are you, Abby?
I'm 25.
Okay. You said that like you got in on a fake ID, but we're gonna let that go. Well, I'm 25. And all right, Abby, I'm gonna ask you a question. Old people, don't yell out the answer. Okay? Trust me, as soon as I ask this question, a bunch of you old people will want to yell out the answer because it's just reflexive. Don't do it. Abby, can you tell all these people? Don't be embarrassed. This is it's gonna be awful. Abby, can you tell all these folks what the #1 reason is to wear clean underwear? Because it's clean? No. That's not it. Go ahead, old people, tell her. In case you're in a car accident, Abby, everybody knows that. You look a little confused. Well, let me explain, Abby. An entire generation of mothers told us we had to wear clean underwear because we could be in a car accident, and if we were in a car accident, we might be so horrifically maimed that they would have to cut off our pants at the emergency room, and God forbid a trauma nurse see a skid mark. Because that would reflect poorly on my mother as a parent. And that's what's most important in that situation. And here's why that doesn't make any sense to begin with. If I'm in a car accident and I'm so horrifically maimed you have to cut my pants off, I've shit myself. Right? Doesn't matter what was in there before. But I believed it. I thought that was a thing. I got into my first car accident. I was 16 years old, Bellevue, Nebraska, slid off the road, hit a pole. I was fine. Cop showed up. You know what he has to see? No, God, no, not. I don't know where. Is there somebody here from Ralston? No, he has to see my driver's license, my registration, and my proof of insurance, not my underwear, which made for an awkward traffic stop because I already had my pants off. But that's how you get out of a ticket in Bellevue, if you find yourself there. Now, I grew up in Bellevue. My dad was in the Air Force, I think. I say I think because in hindsight, like we're Italian and we moved around every 2 years. It might have been witness protection. I'm not sure because my dad's side of the family is very Italian, and they all live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And every year we would get to go out to Pittsburgh and spend a week there, and it was the best week of the summer, right? Because my Italian side of the family is right out of Central Casting, right? It starts with my grandpa. My grandpa's old school, all right? World War II vet, hard as nails, had a concrete company. And when you say old school about a guy like that, it's just a polite way of saying he was racist. He was, we're not proud of it, but he was. Now my dad's not, because, you know, that skips a generation. But I'm kidding, by the way, I'm kidding, all right? My dad's a terrible racist. But we would go out there once a year, and I would follow around my favorite uncle, my Uncle Putsy. Now, if you've got a vision in your head about what an Uncle Putsy looks like, you nailed it. Big guy, big mustache, glass of red wine all day, and I would follow him around and like try to pick up these little phrases and old customs, because when he was younger, he worked for the mob. So we had all these great stories, and I would try to like pick up these traditions and all these old Italian sayings and come back to Bellevue and try to impress my stupid friends. And he knew this about me, and he would just torture me. Right? I'll give you one of just many, many examples of my childhood. I'm about 12 years old. I'm sitting there watching a game with him, and out of nowhere he just goes, "You know what, Chris?" I said, "What, Uncle Putsy?" He goes, "You should always blow your nose into the toilet paper before you wipe your ass." I was like, "This is awesome." That's some old school shit. This is great. I'm like, "Really, Uncle Putsy, why?" And he looked at me like I was the dumbest kid he'd ever seen and said, Because if you do it the other way around, you get shit on your nose. That was our entire relationship. Fast forward 30 years, he calls me up and he's like, hey, I haven't flown since before 9/11. I'm taking my gun to Florida. I want to make sure I have the rules right. I'm like, okay, cool. He goes, I'm taking my gun in my carry-on, but it'll have a trigger lock and the bullets will be in a separate see-through bag. Back up. Did you just say you're going to put a handgun in your carry-on and walk through TSA? And he goes, yeah, but it'll have a trigger lock. And right before I said, no, man, you're going to jail, like my whole childhood came flooding back. And I just said, yep, you got it, have a safe flight. Now, he didn't go to jail. I know he talked to my cousin Cindy, who works for the airline, because about 2 days later, I got a text, and this is all it said. Talk to Cindy, you're an asshole. That was it. That was the entire text. That was it. Now, I mentioned earlier I do a lot of shows in a lot of places. I get to travel a lot. It's fun. I did a couple shows recently, and back to back, they were two of the strangest shows I've ever done. It was middle of December. Friday night was for an accounting firm at a winery. So, yeah, a bunch of accountants and people who are attracted to accountants. So I'm like, I'm gonna get drunk. So I'm drinking a glass of wine, I'm walking around this lovely path out behind the winery, and out of the bushes I see this rustling, and I panic, because I'm not tough. And out of the bushes comes a drunk cat, just staggering across the path in front of me. I'm like, good for you, Fritz, get on a Chardonnay. And then I get a little closer, and I realize the cat's not drunk. The reason he's staggering is because he only has 3 legs. And at this point, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because I'm about to go do a show, and I don't know all the superstitions, right? I don't know if it's good luck or bad luck for a 3-legged cat to walk in front of you. But I wasn't taking any chances. So I kicked that cat out into the field. And I'm gonna tell you why I did that. Because I believe in diversity and inclusion. And I wasn't about to treat that cat any differently because of his disability than I would a regular cat. Now, I'm kidding, I would never kick a cat. But so many of you just looked at me like, good. You're the monsters here, all right? I didn't kick a cat. If you're some cat lady and you're here on a date, don't come up to me, well, you wouldn't be, but don't accost. Don't accost me after the show. I didn't kick the cat, all right? Show went fine. Next night, I have a show very different. This is the middle of December. I show up about 6:30 for a 7 o'clock show. It's for a tire sales company, and every table in the room is full of empties. Shot glasses, beer glasses, wine glasses, low balls, high balls. These people started drinking in October. They were hammered drunk, it was loud, and I'm like, it'll be fine. I'll get up there, I'll get the mic, I'll take control of the situation. Somebody introduces me, I walk up on stage, I get this far into my act. Thank you folks so much for having me. I'm Chris Covey, and a woman at the front table, right here, grabs a bucket, pulls it over, and throws up in it. Literally right at my feet. And here's what I think is gonna happen next. I think our friends are gonna come get her out of there, get the bucket, get her some water, take care of her. I'll get back in control, it'll be fine. That's not what happened at all. The minute she threw up into that bucket, the entire room, in unison, yelled out, Tammy! Good old Tammy! Then somebody yelled, who had 704? They were betting on when Tammy would throw up at the office holiday party. Because I would learn, Tammy throws up at every holiday party. It's just a matter of when. And now I am off my game. Now this is throwing me off, because I do a lot of these, and I'm like, wait, I gotta know, who's in charge of HR here? And they go, oh, that's Tammy. Yeah. So I work there now. Yeah, no, job loss was amazing. It'll get you anything. Yeah. I was in Tulsa not too long ago. Anybody here from Tulsa, Oklahoma? That's a place. it was weird, right? I didn't expect much out of it, but I get there, and I get the rental car, and you know how you're driving in a rental car, and you just listen to whatever the radio station is? And I realized after a while, kind of absent-mindedly, that the men in Tulsa, Oklahoma have a severe problem with erectile dysfunction. Because most of the ads were for various ED drugs, and the one that really caught my ear was this guy coming on in his big radio voice, and he goes, "You'll have the sex drive of a grizzly bear." A grizzly bear? I didn't even know that about them. Aren't they just running around the forest all horny? Right, like if that's true, we've been getting some terrible advice about what to do in the event of a bear attack. I gotta lay down and pretend to be asleep. Doesn't work in my house, it's not gonna work here. No, but it's curious, because when I travel around for comedy, I don't mention that I'm a lawyer, right? Most of you know I'm a lawyer here in town. I have been for a lot longer than I have been a comedian. And I don't say that because when I go to a new town, they think I'm a comedian, and I don't want them to know I'm a lawyer, because primarily, I don't do lawyer jokes, and I want them to like me. But I do have some lawyer jokes. They're not, I don't have a lot of them, and so some of you who are not lawyers are going to be lost on a little of this, but the big difference between being a lawyer and being a comedian is that when you're in court, there's no heckling, right? But I think there should be. I think that would be great fun if you get up there and you're in trial and you make an objection and the judge screws it up, somebody ought to call him out for it, right? The judges can do whatever they want, and until they go up to the Court of Appeals, they're bulletproof. Now, in real time, they'd be better if you had somebody in the audience be like, call that a hearsay ruling? Your wife's never had an excited utterance. Sorry for you non-lawyers, that wasn't for you. There was a guy in Minnesota, a lawyer in Minnesota a number of years ago that got sanctioned by the bar for violating one of the ethical rules. Here was the problem. He was sleeping with his client, which you're not allowed to do. You should know that. And this is, by the way, you're getting -1 CLE hours tonight. If you're a lawyer, and it's -2 ethics. So, I'm ready to make that up. But he was sleeping with his client, and ordinarily, that's a sanction, a slap on the hand, and they tell you don't sleep with your client, it's a conflict of interest. But this guy got suspended because not only was he sleeping with his client, he was billing her for it. And I don't even know how that would work, right? Because we bill on 6-minute increments, right? And sex is 3 minutes long. So I don't know if do you bill her for the wine that it took to get into that situation, or how does that go? Oh, it's ridiculous. Went to the gym recently. I'm not like trying to get into shape or anything. I just needed some new jokes, and it didn't disappoint. I'm walking through the gym floor, and I walk by these two bros. All right, I don't know if you know what that means when I say bros, but they're like the 20-something guys with like a tank top and gel in their hair, and a gallon jug of steroids, and they are just the dumbest people in our society. Literally the most vapid humans in existence are these 20-something bros. And as I walk by two of them, bro 1 says to bro 2, "Hey man, you know what I'd do if I had a time machine? Is stop me dead in my tracks." This is why I came here, to find out what bro 1's gonna do with this time machine. So I look around, right? I want to hear the rest of this conversation, but there wasn't a lot of equipment around them, and I got bad hearing, so I had to take whatever the closest thing was to them, and so I ended up on this machine, and I know it's got a better name, I know it has to, but it was like the vagina tightener. You know that one? Right? And I get that machine. Like the one next to it, like the vagina opener is the one I don't understand. But and I'm not even sure if boys are allowed to be on this machine. But I gotta hear this conversation. So I'm on there, and here's the conversation I overhear. Bro 1 says to bro 2, "Hey man, you know what I'd do if I had a time machine?" And bro 2 goes, "No, what man?" And bro 1 goes, "I go back in time and find myself at 17 years old and teach myself everything I've learned about how to get chicks." That's what he was going to use a time machine for. Not go back and kill Hitler. Not go see what the future's like. Not even go back 5 years to Wuhan, China, find that dude and be like, hey man, don't eat that bat. He wanted to use his time machine to flatten the pussy learning curve. But I can't laugh because the only thing weirder than dude on vagina machine is laughing dude on vagina machine. Alright, that part's over now, sir. I can tell you were into it. You were into it. I'll answer your question. They're boxer briefs. I can tell you wanted to know. It's going to still be there when you get there. And you might be thinking, Chris, aren't you afraid you're going to upset the Subaru drivers in the audience? I'm like, no. I lost them at the cat lady joke. They're gone. They're gone. I want to take a quick little time out here. So the servers are now coming by and dropping your checks. Little keypad thing you give your card. You've done it before. You know how to pay. So it's a little weird break in the show. I will say this though. You didn't pay much to get here, and you got more than you paid for. These folks, this is their second or third job. So do me a favor. If you're in a position to give them a few extra bucks, there's a tip on there. It's included. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you have an option to give them a few extra bucks, help them out. Like I said, the club is going to close down and then reopen over in another place, so they could all use a little extra cash. So I'd ask you to clap for them, but they don't care. They don't. You clap them. A waitress at a comedy club in Wichita once said, "Clap don't pay no rent." I appreciate that. I appreciate her honesty. I mentioned my wife earlier. My wife's awesome. Some of you know her. She's the best part of all of us. She's in a book club. Any of you ladies in a book club out there, by applause? Somebody wooed? Does not follow directions? Did you clap over here? Are you in a book club? What was the last book you guys read? You don't know. Yeah, because if you don't know, what a book club is when 12 of my wife's friends come over to our house and they drink 30 bottles of wine. Some of you ladies are like, oh yeah, I'm in one of those. Yeah. We call it a play date. My wife got home the other day and she was having a book club in the living room, and when she does that, me and the rest of the kids have to go upstairs and get out of their way. So I'm upstairs and I'm on my phone and I open up the email from the guy you never open the email from. Right? It was my dumb friend. Now ladies, that phrase doesn't mean anything to you. But when I say dumb friend, every dude in the room, a name popped into their head, right? Every group of guys has a dumb friend. And fellas, if that didn't just happen, you're the dumb friend. So I get this email, and I know not to open it, right? But I open it anyway, and it had a video, and I knew better than to click on it. But I was bored, so I clicked on it anyway. I would later learn that it was a video of animals having sex with the soundtrack removed and replaced with the sounds of human porn. That's what this guy thought was funny. But I couldn't hear it. I have an older phone, so I could see the video, but I couldn't hear it. I'm like, why did this guy send me this stupid nature video? And then I turned the volume all the way up, and I could just barely hear it. And I realized what had gone horribly wrong. My phone had linked itself to the Bluetooth speaker in the living room, where my wife's book club was being interrupted by Ron Jeremy and friends, wondering what the hell I'm doing upstairs. So I shut it off just in time to hear my wife at the bottom of the stairs yelling, "Chris, what are you doing?" And I panicked, and I told the truth, which is the worst thing you can do in that situation. I said, no, I wasn't, it was just animals having sex. Didn't help at all. Not even a little. Didn't help at all. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. There's a million of them out there. A number of years ago, one of my partners at my former law firm thought it would be a good idea to hire me to roast his wife at her 40th birthday party. No, that would have been my initial reaction, but I'd known this couple a long time. They're a great couple. She's kind of larger than life, a lot of history. I'm like, you know what? This could actually be fun. Your friends are fun. Let's do this. So they fed me a bunch of information and gave me a bunch of stuff, gave me some pictures so I could do a little PowerPoint, right? And so the night shows up, and I will tell you this: it was a classy place. It was the Glenwood Country Club. You know, so they had like the cleanest folding chairs that they had on site set up. So we bring her up, get her up there, she sits in the chair, you've seen roasts, and I start in, and after my second joke, I realize she didn't know this was gonna happen. Yeah, Fast forward, they're divorced. Due in no small part to the fact that I'm pretty good at my job. So fellas, don't do that, all right? Don't do that. Don't surprise your wife. Be smarter than that. And I'm only telling you that because he's here tonight. She's not. I'm resisting the urge to tell stories about my old Civ Pro teacher, John Lenich, who's over there in the crowd tonight. Should we tell him about that? Now he claims he didn't kill her. We woke up and she was dead. But he claims to this day, no, he's retired, he's cool, no, he's awesome. You can go to him for all your Civ Pro needs. If you have any questions now about civil procedure, which I'm sure many of you do. Sam, you got any questions about Civ Pro? No? Yeah, leave me alone, Chris. All right. I'll tell you this. It's about Nebraska. Nebraska is the greatest place that you could ever want to live. It really is. If you forget how great Nebraska is, go to the West Coast. It is. The people out there are awful and they don't care about us at all. I was out in LA a couple months ago and I strike up this conversation with this woman on the street. And I'll tell you this about her. She was very, very beautiful, but she was very, very dumb. And I'm going to say a bad word. I try not to swear too much, but I'll say a bad word. She was vegan. And we strike up a conversation, and she goes, "Wow, you're really tall." I said, "Yeah, you're great at small talk." She said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Nebraska." And she said, "Is everybody that tall in Nebraska?" And I'm a comedian, so I said, "Well, yes, ma'am, we are. We have to be this tall to get the corn off the top of the stalks." And she looked up at me, dead serious, and went, "Oh, that makes sense." Jesus. She said, "Do you live on a farm?" I'm all in now. I said, "Of course I do." And she said, "Do you have any animals?" And I said, "Yes." I told her I have a cow. I said, "Every family in Nebraska owns a cow." I told her what we do is we go out in the spring, we pick out a calf, we bring it home, we raise it, we name it, the kids play with it, and then in the fall, we slaughter it, and that's what we eat the rest of the year. She was mortified at this point. She's trembling. She's literally trembling. And she goes, "You name it?" I said, "Oh, yeah, if you think free-range beef tastes good, you've got to try pet." It's so delicious. You see the love and the marble and the tenderloins. It's so good. So I get done with this interaction. I fly back and I'm like, you know what would be really fun? It'd be really fun to bring her out to Nebraska. Drive her out to have lunch at Ole's Big Game Cafe in Paxton, Nebraska. All right, some of you know Ole's. I'll tell you the rest. The rest of you, Ole's is a sports bar in Paxton, Nebraska. And on every wall of every room of Ole's are mounted animal heads of animals that Ole shot and killed in the 60s and 70s. And Ole killed everything. Literally everything. There's giraffes, polar bears, elephants, animals that are extinct because of Ole. I'm fairly certain they just gave him an assault rifle and let him loose on the ark. Right? He just killed everything. And I just want to walk through the front door with this lady and go, "All right, here's how it works, man. You just point at one of these heads and they'll bring you some." Yeah. This is Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone. That's right. That's who that slogan is for, that lady. I'm not tough. I can't build anything. I'm worthless around the house. When we first got married, we got a dog, got a house. I'm like, I'm gonna build a dog house. And my wife's like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." And I'm like, "No, I can do this." So I drew up some plans, went to the hardware store, bought all the stuff, brought it back, spent 2 weekends building this dog house, stepped back, looked at it. She was right. It was awful. It was way too big. The walls didn't match up very well. The shingles didn't go the same direction. The only thing I could have done with this doghouse was sell it to Council Bluffs as art for their highway projects. You know that overpass? It looks like a tornado picked up a trailer park. We just dumped it on the side of the road. The mayor's like, "Well, if we call it art, we don't have to clean it up." So that's pretty slick. It's pretty slick right there. I mentioned my son. My son's pretty funny. He's funny in his own way. During COVID, did you guys remember COVID? Okay. I go to some small towns and they're like, "Nah, we didn't do that. Weren't interested. Didn't seem like it was okay, so we just moved along." Yeah. Yeah, we died. A lot of people died, but I was okay. I got COVID in the middle of it. I was fine. I was surprised that I got it though, because it's a respiratory disease, and tall people breathe better air than you. We do. You breathe what we call nipple air. It circulates down here. And we're driving in the car one day with my 7-year-old son, and if you've got a boy this age, this will not surprise you at all. We're driving, and my wife and I are talking about how at the time it was very difficult to get a test, and that the symptoms of COVID were the lack of taste and smell. And those two facts rattle around in his little 7-year-old boy brain, and after about a minute, it's dead quiet in the car. He rips the loudest fart I have ever heard and yells out, "Free COVID test!" Hysterical. He's funny. He's funny. He's a 7th grader now, and I can say this because I was a nerd. I was a nerd in middle school and high school. He's a nerd. He does the same nerd stuff I did. Problem is, he has something called Tino.
8:30, 8:45.
Yeah, that's about when we're done. Yeah, 8:30, 8:45. Check. Did you order your Uber? Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. Is it a surge? Are we good on pricing? We're okay? All right, yeah. Yeah, God forbid we text. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's so lucky timing. So he's got Temu, which is, if you don't know what Temu is like Amazon. But instead of ordering nice stuff that comes to your house a couple days later, you buy this really, really cheap, horrible Chinese crap that shows up 8 weeks later. Literally on a slow boat from China. And so he buys the weirdest stuff. He'll go on there and just buy this crazy stuff. He went to school this week, and here's what he was wearing. Fine, normal sweatpants. A nice sweatshirt that my wife bought him. Then these bright white tennis shoes from China that were like $4 that I don't even know what they're made out of. Like, I don't even think you can get them wet. Like, they're some toxic material. And then he had like a little tiny harmonica on a chain. Not inside his shirt. Right? Well, he wasn't going to get together like after school with his show choir boys in the corner and do harmonica. No, it was outside his shirt, walking around like, what are you trying to do with that? Like, do you think there's some girl that's going to see you and be like, "Hey man, I'm Megan from the dance team. Do you know Billy Joel's harmonica solo?" She doesn't exist. That's not a girl that exists. And my wife's like, "Hey, you need to have the talk with him. It's well overdue. You need to have the talk with him." Why? Like, look in the mirror. Like, there's not a danger of a girl getting up on that anytime soon. And he has a Rubik's Cube in both pockets. And I'm like, he's fine, right? And then he bought like this hand strengthener thing that's like you push on the buttons to make like your hands stronger. Like, why? What are you going to be, a over-the-road truck driver who has to win an arm wrestling contest to get your son back? Right? That's the plot of Over the Top from Sylvester Stallone in the 80s. I'm like, what's going on with you, kid? We named him Finn because we ran out of names. Like, our girls, we named Easy. Him, we had to come up with a name. We named him Finn, but I was so close. I was so close to getting a much cooler name. In the middle of the process, I said to my wife, "Look, I've got an off-the-wall name. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but just hear me out. I want to name him Lincoln for his first name, right? That's where you were born. That's where you lived for a number of years. Lincoln, Nebraska, right? And then for the middle name, my mother's maiden name is Hawkins. So we could shorten that down to Hawk, right? So it would be Lincoln Hawk Covey." And she was like, "I don't think so." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And then a few weeks later, she's like, "You know what name is kind of growing on me?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, that Lincoln name that you said. And I was like, "Okay, all right, let's just let it sit there." And we go to a party, and I overhear her talking to her friends, and she's like, "Hey, I want to try a name on. I want your first reaction." Lincoln Hawk Covey. And some dude who I've never met spins around and goes, "Dude, like the guy from Over the Top?" That was Sylvester Stallone's character name in Over the Top, the truck driver who had to win an arm wrestling contest to win his son back. And I was this close to getting that name. She was furious. the more she learned, the madder she got. And she's like, what do you think would have happened if I would have learned that after we had the kid? She's like, you would have gone to the courthouse with the papers yourself. I was like, to change his name? She's like, no, the other papers. The ones that I drafted on our wedding night. And sit in the drawer just waiting for that minute. All right, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. You guys have been super fun. I thank you guys for coming out. This is, it's a little bit bittersweet, right? So this is our last night here on this stage. This stage has been a lot to me and Richard and a lot of people. And I hope, like, when you show up, now you know the club's moving, you can come over and support them there. It's awesome. But I have to tell you that because if you show up in May to Village Point and you're doing some shopping, you look over and you're like, oh, that comedy club's gone. That checks out. That dude is shitty. It's so bad they moved the entire club somewhere else. So come check us out at the new place. It's going to be awesome. But I'll leave you with this. It's a secret about tall people. And I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you guys are super cool. When we come over to your houses, we look on top of your refrigerators. We do. It's just eye level. We don't mean to, but it's right there. And you people are filthy. You are. You need to get up there and clean that off once a year. We had some folks move in behind us a number of years ago. All right. Weird little like, clean. Been waiting for him to talk about cleaning shit. We had some folks move in behind us a number of years ago, and we're meeting him for the first time. It's going great. It's going great. I look over, huge layer of dust on top of his refrigerator, but I don't say anything, right? Because we're just getting to know him. I don't want him to know I'm a jerk yet. Night goes on, we have a couple of drinks, he pops off, he's a little drunk. He makes a comment about how maybe I don't mow my yard often enough. All right, I'm a proud homeowner. I got a little offended. I've been drinking too, and before I could think it through, I just blurted out, yeah, it's hard to keep up with the yard work when I spend all my time cleaning the top of the refrigerator, which some people never bother to do. Then it got a little weird. Fast forward 3 months. I'm down at his house having a beer. I look over, and on top of his refrigerator is the same layer of dust. But sitting on top of that dust was a single piece of paper with a photocopied middle finger on it. Just for me. Just for me. It was the most thoughtful thing anyone has ever done. All right, thank you folks so much for coming out and supporting this cause. All right. Turn it over to Pride Band here.
Chris Covey and Richard Reese, everyone. So we've been building Job Lasso for the last year, and when we say we, the 5 of us who are here tonight and our great partners in AppSki, so if you're thinking about building an app or you're thinking about what technology can do, encourage you to contact the team over at AppSki. Today's raffle, we've got a few things going on here, but if anyone in the room values $500, what we'd like to do is encourage you to go out, take 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, build a profile. It doesn't matter if you're a law school student, you're unemployed, but a lawyer, that was my attempt at humor, a lawyer, whatever it might be, build a profile, give us feedback. And when we say build a profile, it means go on, register, fill out a couple of questions about your professional background. It's fully confidential, it's fully anonymous, and give us feedback. Next Friday, so the 25th, we're gonna be, sorry, the 18th, we're gonna be pulling out one name from the people who attended tonight, because we have your list, and if you didn't let us know that you're here, please do. And whoever's completed their profiles will be eligible for that. And we're going to give you a $500 gift card of your choice. It'll be Amazon or Apple or whatever you'd like, and that's brought to you by our friends at AppSki. Or a $500 T-Move gift card, sure. That's a pretty, and why are we doing that? We want your feedback. We want people to use the platform and get jobs and do all that great stuff, but we really want your feedback, and we know we can trust you to tell us what you think of it. Then we're going to be announcing, everyone in this room will be eligible for it as well, a $1,000 giveaway, and we're going to run that same kind of thing, gift card, for a general audience. Why? We want feedback, not just for the people that are here. That's the $500 gift card. You guys are eligible for that. And it's all brought to you by AppSki, but we want feedback. So stay tuned. You can win either one of those. If you don't win one of the items that we have here tonight, you filled out that raffle ticket. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you in advance for your support on social. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you across the board and for all the things that you do for us. we're really grateful and hopefully you had a great time tonight. Again, Chris Covey and Richard Reese, thank you guys so much. So we've got some Job Lasso swag and a couple of gift cards. We're going to give out 5 of these right away. So if you'd like and your name is called, come up. We've got a little token of appreciation. Someone wrote this really small and terrible handwriting. Phone number 612-740-7488. All right. Leah Vetter, Dave Winkler, John, right here, John, Jeremy, oh, John Waremy. Amber, is there an Amber here? Because I can't read your last name. Amber, where? All right, Amber, all right. And then this is Lisa. We'll work on this next time. Jerry Sena? Jerry? Sena? All right, well, Jerry, come on down. And then we've got a couple of gift cards. One to Oodalale and one to E Creamery. This is E Creamery. Crisco. Jamie Bishop. Is that Bishop? Hey, all right. And this is for Oodalale, which is in Dundee, and just a Jessica, someone who just wrote Jessica. Phone number 402
Jerry.
320-5289. Jessica still here? Jessica, all right, perfect. Okay, so give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great time. And let's go this in Omaha. Thank you, everyone.